is a Brooklyn-bound 5 express train. The next stop is 14th Street, Union Square.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
I am a woman of color, with Puerto Rican and Guyanese blood running through my veins. I am made of love, hard work, dedication, blood, sweat, and tears. Growing up in the boogie-down Bronx, I was surrounded by many people of color, relating back to one another. But one thing I always noticed is that we were never being represented. Growing up in New York City, I was blessed to constantly be surrounded by such diversity around every corner I turned. I learned about cultures through friends of different ethnicities. Having a friend group as diverse as mine taught me things I never knew or even expected to learn before. It had always upset me that these cultures weren't shared, or at least well known. My love for stories started with comics, mainly Miss Marvel. For those of you who don't know, Miss Marvel is about a Pakistani-American teenage girl named Kamala Khan. For the first time ever, I had seen myself in a character that was just like me. She didn't fall under the constant stereotypes of Western media. Kamala was strong, young, and forged her own way. For once, I had seen brown people being shown in something that wasn't just a Bollywood movie that no one had ever seen or heard of before. In 2022, the Miss Marvel TV series had released on Disney+. I am not even embarrassed to admit it. I have seen the show way too many times, more than I could possibly count. One of the biggest takeaways was watching the show with my aunt, my Titi Gita. I had gone over to her house one day just for breakfast, but ended up in her living room watching TV. She was never the type to go out of her way to start watching new shows or movies, but I told her about this show I started watching and practically forced her to watch it because I just put it on. She was getting into it because of the quirkiness of the cute show, but it wasn't until episode 3 that something clicked. It was the wedding episode of the series where Kamala's brother was getting married. Muniba, Kamala's mother, was talking to her daughter about moving out of her home country and coming to America to start a better life and the worries of doing so. My aunt agreed out loud and expressed her fear of leaving Guyana, her home country, the same as Kamala's mother did when she left Pakistan. Later in the episode was the reception of the wedding. Hearing music and old love songs being used, and my aunt singing and dancing along to these songs that she grew up listening to, I was overjoyed and emotional. I had never seen that before. I knew from then on what I wanted to do. I want to write stories where everyone can see themselves in. I want to write more stories my friends and my family members can see themselves being represented in. I want to write stories that don't perpetuate harmful stereotypes and instead express and show off beautiful cultures that deserve to be shared. I am a woman of color. I have Puerto Rican and Guyanese blood running through my veins. I am made of love, hard work, dedication, and blood, sweat, and tears. Growing up in the boogie-down Bronx, I was surrounded by many people relating back to one another. But one thing I had always noticed is that we were never being represented. But I am going to change that.